Aaron Rodgers missed OTAs, big controversy. We had said on the air, I was told I wouldn't put it out there, but I was told he was in Egypt. He later came out and acknowledged he was in Egypt. I couldn't get a second source. I had a one source on it, but that's where I was told he was at. Eventually he was there. And so, and his coach called it an unexcused absence. Well, he went on a podcast, Pardon My Take, recently, and he said about missing that. He said, quote, they can arbitrarily put a tag on whatever week of OTAs they want, and they can call it minicamp week. And that makes it, said Aaron, somehow like more mandatory than the other weeks. But Aaron said it was an OTA schedule. That's how words can be a little deceiving time to time. They can make a story out of the fact I missed minicamp, but it was really 2 OTA days I missed, but I came to the first 10. Okay, this sort of feels like immunized versus vaccinated round 2 with Aaron. It's all semantics. Be honest. Instead of being defensive, just own it. All your teammates were there, and you, the star quarterback, were not. Again, the coach called it an inexcused absence. Immunized, vaccinated, whatever, bruh. Here's the thing. The Jets have had great players for a long time. Forever. I mean, right now, PFF says their offensive line's top 5. I disagree, but that's what PFF says. I do think they have top 4 or 5 defensive personnel. The Jets have never been a talent issue. They've always been a leadership issue. They can't get the right GM. The owners are impulsive. The quarterbacks have been hit and miss, mostly miss. So it's a leadership thing, and your teammates were there and you weren't. And again, you're not a slot receiver, a third corner, a special teams gunner. You're the face of the franchise. I sort of look at Aaron at this point in his career, for me, as really good content. He's interesting. I think sometimes he wants to really win these menial, trivial media battles. That's a big thing to him. Whereas when the Harrison Butker story broke for the Chiefs, Mahomes had sort of a vanilla, middle-of-the-road comment and let everybody else get the glare. The Josh Allens, the Lamars, they don't want any of this stuff. Aaron kind of seems to lean into it. He's into sort of winning these media scrums and menial battles. But and I think sometimes Aaron likes to be discussed, and he's interesting, and he's good content, and I think he's bright and has a lot of opinions. But I always feel like, you ever play Madden, and you can do the rookie level or the go all in on the Madden level, which is much harder. Aaron sort of chooses the latter. He goes Madden instead of the all rookie level, and it's just a little more disruptive. It's a little more difficult. It's a little harder. And all these things with the New York media get inflamed and get talked about, and teammates have to answer to him. I think the Jets' talent is really not the issue. I think their talent's fine, although I think they're pretty dependent on Breece Hall not getting injured. Therefore, you've got a new offensive line and a running game without Breece Hall that's not dynamic, more pressure on 40-year-old Aaron. That's not good, but they've got more talent than the last couple of years at wide receiver. They've drafted very well on the defensive side. If Aaron's upright for 17 weeks, I think they can win 9 games. You guys think 10, 11, 12. I think, closer to 9 and 8. But be that as it may, this just feels like, kind of the Aaron trying to win one of these little battles, and your teammates were there and you weren't. And that's it. It doesn't. I'm fine with it. I don't think it's the end of the world, but I would rather have my guy own it. I will say this. Old quarterbacks, Brady was literally doing illegal practices at Jesuit high school. Older quarterbacks, I don't want to get hit. They don't necessarily want to practice as much, and I get all of that. I do think the Jets is a very unique situation because of the constant impulsive nature of the ownership, because they're the Jets, because it's New York. I think you should be there, but I don't think it'll have an adverse effect once the real season starts. Colin right, Colin wrong, top of next hour. Already video out, J-Mac, of Xavier Worthy, the rookie receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. 3 words, lighten it up. That AFC's cooking, baby. He had some very impressive.
Where'd you see that, on TikTok? I know Worthy's a big TikTok guy.
Is he a big TikTok guy?
Him and his girlfriend, whatever. I'm just so over. LeBron saved the USA.
Yes.
Pretty damn good game against South Sudan, which has some. They got some guys.
Oh no,
they got some dudes.
No, I watched this game. They got dudes.
U.S. was down 16, and then LeBron leads an incredible comeback. Interestingly, 23-5 run in the second half. Steph Curry got hot, and then LeBron scored the game winner with 8 seconds left. LeBron 25, 6 and 7. Anthony Davis 15 and 11. So it was the LeBron and AD show.
No question.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, by the way, what do you think LeBron, people say LeBron's got quite an ego. Year 22, 39 years old, and he knows he's the best player consistently on this team. Not Jason Tatum, not Booker, not Ant Edwards. LeBron James knows in that game, you and I watched it, LeBron's why they won. LeBron James, year 22. So all the people that think you have an ego, go watch the internet for 5 minutes. Losers think they're something. I mean, it's just rife with losers. LeBron's been top of the world, the planet in basketball, still our most dependable player on the Olympic team. Today, year 22.
39 years old.
You don't think he's got a little self-confidence? I'm watching that game. He is not only is he the glue guy, he makes everything work, he had to do all the scoring.
Yeah, he's not going to let him loose.
And also, we got to be fair here. I was very critical, I think you were too, of Anthony Davis 2 years ago. Couldn't stay healthy. The dude's been a monster for 2 years.
He's top 3 on this team.
He has been, and when you watch him, he has been phenomenal.
Now, I do need to ask, I wasn't here for the tape, but you had said this team is way better than the Dream Team.
I said it's deeper because it's positionless. Everybody can, outside of like Anthony Davis, everybody can handle the ball. Everybody can shoot a three. I mean, when you're bringing like a Tatum and an AD off the bench, that ain't Christian Laettner. That's a different level. It's the deepest team. It's the most diverse, most dexterity I've ever seen in an Olympic team. But is their starting five as great? Maybe not.
Well, again, I'm not trying to pin you down here. I do wonder, though. Exhibition game, South Sudan.
Yes.
U.S. favored by 40. By the way, don't bet on exhibition Olympic basketball, people. Don't. And then the U.S. barely wins. So does this say they're not great? Not like a historically great team?
Well, it doesn't say that they're not great.
What does it say?
But here's my take on a lot of this stuff, is that there was a different feel from American players when you went through high school and were hard coached, and you went through college and stayed for 3 years and you were hard coached, and then you went into the NBA and were hard coached. Players now don't play high school basketball. It's AAU basketball, which is just a million games and nobody's coaching you hard. 1 year max of college where the coach has to basically suck up to you so you'll go to his Kentucky or go to his Syracuse. Into the NBA where you finally get some hard coaching if you fall to the right place like Golden State, Miami, San Antonio, maybe Minnesota, or New York. And so what I see with our players is more dexterity, more talent, more skills, little less hunger. There's a reason that Knicks team, Nova guys, they got an old school feel. They play their arse off. Is that when I watch a lot of our domestic players, they're really talented. I don't think they quite, I think our old school guys, and I classify AD a little old school, LeBron, Steph Curry. I don't know. When I watch our young basketball players, I don't see kind of that MJ, Kobe, LeBron, Steph, urgency, fight. I don't see it. More skilled, absolutely. More skills than ever. But when I watch our Olympic team, I think this team has a lot of old school guys and then a lot of new school collaborative kumbaya guys. And it's a weird chemistry fit.
So are they missing grit?
I just don't think most young people today, because, their parents had a better life. I don't think there's a ton of grit with a lot of young people. I think there's more talent than ever everywhere in sports and non-sports. I think there's more intelligence, more tech, more brain power, more skills. But when I watch this team, I see these old school guys like you. I watched that South Sudan game. LeBron was like, yo, guys, rally the troop. I'll take over. If I was a young guy, I'd be like, no, this is our team. And it's not. LeBron just takes the ball, controls the offense, even Steve Kerr said, he's just different. He's got LeBron, for as progressive as everybody thinks he is, he's got a lot of old school basketball respect, the way he respects the game.
That's a good point. A small thing, Drew Holiday, so good for the Celtics. Just won another title. He's supposed to be the lockdown defender. The guy who won the G League MVP.